Howdy, howdy.
Hey, what's up? How are you guys doing?
Good morning.
Good. How are you doing?
I am better. Our last video, we missed one last week, right? Because I was down, sick. We'll
Yeah.
shave all this off because I was a snotty mess. And it's funny, I went back and I was looking at the beginning of that video where I mentioned I was on sick watch. And what you know it, 2 days later, I corkscrewed into the ocean and was just, ah. But no, I'm feeling better. A little snotty, but it always happens. Jared and I were talking about this. Whenever we go back to Orlando, which is exactly what happened, it never fails. So we go down there, we do a giant show with hundreds of thousands of people, not so much as a sniffle. All of us crammed up in the same quarters, nobody gets sick. We go back down for a quick couple days just to go do some scanning, little archive work, come back all crouped up. Any single time I get near Disney property, I get sick. It's just the way it is. We were just talking about that viral load. It must just be so high. It must just be so infected.
You got so many people from all over the world are coming to the park. I
Yeah, I'm
think
certain I have an exotic cold. This isn't a normal cold. This is
Yeah.
like a Brazilian super death cold.
I think the convention is a bit different because it's mostly probably locals, in the southeast corner of the U.S. Probably not too many international travelers coming to that.
Right.
But Disney World, the hotel we were at the second time, I heard French, German in the lobby, and that's bizarre from where I am. Like you just don't hear European languages being spoken like that. But yeah, it's an international destination, and with that comes international cold viruses.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I'm on the other side of it, so it's all good. How are you, Amy? What's been up?
Oh, doing good. The storms that we had roll through a couple of days ago have just caused a bunch of limbs to be down all over the neighborhood, and
Tree limbs, right? Just
yeah,
trees?
You
just
lost,
an
you lost
arm over there, a leg there. It's cool.
you lost a grill, right? Or two?
Yeah, we lost our grill and potentially our smoker. So they both took a giant leap off our porch with the 70-mile gusts of wind. So
We
yeah,
should put up an in memoriam photo of
in the arms of the angels.
Yeah.
I'll send Sean a photo or two and let y'all see the destruction from the yard.
Yeah, that wind was horrible. It was like all day, all night. It sounded like you're on that boat from Deadliest Catch, just
Yes.
howling
How's
wind.
that sound?
I'm not gonna try and replicate the sound of nature. It was bad.
Thanks for playing along, Amy.
Yep.
You can rest
I'm
the
all
day.
about sound effects today, apparently.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, we got it too. I mean, it was windy yesterday here. We got it the day after you guys, where shutters and screens beating up against the house, and then Tom was saying last night it was bad in New York.
Oh
think it-
man.
moved all across the entire.
Right, and then right up the coast. Yeah.
Yep.
Jeez.
Anyway, we were talking about William Catt earlier, and
What's
I
up,
was
buddy?
thinking, hey, William, what's happening, bro? I was thinking one of the movies we've mentioned it briefly, but I always go off on Big Wednesday, and then Jared always throws House in there. And granted, both of those are epic, but don't forget The Man from Earth. If you guys have not watched The Man from Earth, this is one of those things when you're sitting around at night and you're just zombie scrolling, you're looking for something to watch. This came about during one of those brief periods where they were just naming movies stupid things. So when you see The Man from Earth, you're like, man, and you just move on. Well, one night I stayed and I watched it, and it was awesome. And it's because William Catt's in it, some of his best work. And what a great movie. You've seen it, right, Jared?
Yeah, it's really good. It really, if you entertain the premise that this guy has been alive on Earth since like the Pleistocene era or something, he's been around for thousands of years, and all those questions you would ask, like, well, why? How did you do this? Why did this happen? Like, they answer all those questions in a pretty like, oh yeah, I guess that would happen that way probably.
Yeah,
that's what's so great about it.
You should see it, Amy. Essentially, this guy He's a professor, and he'll join a staff for 8 or 9 years, and around the time people start noticing he's not aging, he just moves on. Um, so he poses a question to his peers: what if a man could survive through this period and this period and this period, picking up information along the way? And they, there's somebody, who's able to speak to the, biologically, how would that happen? How, well, theoretically we grow a new XYZ over the course of so many years. So somebody could live indefinitely if they could regenerate these parts. You've got that guy. Then you've got another person who speaks to theology, what that would mean. And they're all peppering him with these questions to ferret out his story, if there's any truth to it. And he lets it kind of just hang in the room as though it may be true. And it's up to you to figure out if it is or not. But that's about the most we can give without giving a lot away. But it's really a good movie. And like I said, William K. Go, bro.
I love how, like, because his friends are all they're professors in their fields too, and they're of course interrogating him almost like, how can you make this claim? Like, where's your proof? And the one professor asks him, is like, well, how come you didn't keep any tools or artifacts from thousands of years ago when you're supposedly alive? And he says, do you have your first pair of car keys? Do you have your first library card? It's like,
it's perfect.
These things come and go throughout your life. So even 20 years ago, people aren't going to have a lot of the things they had. I certainly don't have the things I kept 2,000 years ago. So little stuff like that. It's just really
yeah. Because we're talking about a guy who's been around since the Paleolithic, era, and he says as much. And to Jared's point, he does do that. He goes, well, why would I keep a flint or an arrow from this? And then it goes on to even gets into mapping things geographically, and he's like, well, tectonic shifts and plates moving and ice ages and so forth. And he really talks about how he migrates over different land masses, and he's got an answer for everything.
Yeah, and it's great because the other professors are like, maybe he's just smart and he's got an answer for everything, or maybe it's true. Like, who knows?
Yeah, because he leaves it out there as though, hey, is this a paper you're working on? Is this, they're like, oh yeah, let's go with this. At first it's fun. Yeah. And then he seems to know a little too much. And then he starts emphatically speaking as though, this is he and these were his adventures. Yeah. And there's little things like he doesn't carry a lot around with him in the back of his pickup truck, but he just haphazardly throws the old Picasso in the back of the truck. And of course, one of the professors, is an artist, and they're like, that's a really good reproduction. You should have that appraised. And just something I've been carrying around, throws it in. So, and they do a real good job with it because as we're talking about it, I'm thinking it almost feels like it has a Highlander kind of McLeod feel to it, where you're from, lots of different places, it's not like that. It's got its own feel. It stands on its own. It's although I love Highlander, but it's its own jam. So The Man from Earth, check it out. That's my recommendation for today.
And William Catt, he had a birthday last month, February 16th, I think.
So. Yeah, and we were remiss in mentioning it here, but Amy did catch it and throw it up on our socials.
I think we were occupied with the show. We were there. We were at the show, or just gotten back. I don't remember, but
we were traveling. So, and it was a couple of days late, I think, too, when I put it on Instagram. But
we let him know. He knows. William Catt knows.
He knows we love him.
He does. We need to get him on the show soon. He's just been super. We'll get him on here and talk to him, about some of his music projects and that sort of thing.
I've seen him do other podcasts. He's active out there. He does the voice narration for Kolchak the Night Stalker. So they did a series. There's graphic novels and then there's audiobooks, and I think he does the voice work for the Kolchak.
How do I not know about this? This is fantastic.
I know, right? I caught it and I'm like, whoa, Kolchak's cool. William Catt's cool. Those two things were destined to come together. I hope I'm going to be.
downloading that immediately. It's all I can do not to look at my phone while we're doing this to check for it. So yeah, we were on the road, got a lot of work done, scanned a lot of cool things, and we'll be sharing more about that. I mean, we can share a little bit of it. Archives over at Disney has been real helpful with us, and we have scanned one of the Nemo electrospheres, and we're engineering that into one of our next projects. So we'll share that with you guys very, very soon. So that's been a good time. Met with our PD team down there. Good guys. Always great to see them. And, we look forward to seeing them again soon. So the Disney stuff, like we've talked about, we got to kind of share it with you guys in chunks because there's, again, a preferred way they like for us to share these things. And even today, we were having a meeting where we were talking about some upcoming projects and, how they would prefer we refer to certain subject matter, moving forward. So you guys will hear about that in the next week or two. But it's getting a little more comfortable. We're getting a handle on what we can and can't talk about, when we can and can't. So it just doesn't seem so cryptic, like we're teasing. It's not really that. It's just it's a new relationship. We want to make sure we do everything right. But we got into a little bit of that today, so that's cool. We just approved some box art for the night vision goggles. I guess we can talk about that. We're happy with how that came about, so that is officially done. Putting the final checks on a lot of different projects. What else did we see today? We saw the final take, the broken emanator. And you want to talk about that any, or I mean, I got a few things to say about it, but
and the hero emanator too. I sent you some images around earlier. That's the full complete one that opens and lights up, and it's got the box. So that one's looking pretty sharp, also.
So a lot of these projects are going to bottleneck on us, as is often the case. The broken emanator, we talked about it. That should have been the easiest one, but it's funny. The hero came together quicker than it did. Our broken emanator, we've had it done for a few months. Could have released it as it was. It, like I said in another video, I know, the few of you that watch these don't necessarily see every one, so I want to make sure I don't leave it out. The broken emanator as it was, I just wasn't happy with the machine work. It had some rough edges on it. It just wasn't indicative of what we do. So it's a simple call. Put it out as is, and or wait and do it right. So we took it to another factory. It's dialed in as it should be now. They nailed the wash on it, the weathering, exactly how we want it. So we'll have some X dates on that soon, as far as when you guys can expect it to leave the factory. Right, Jared?
Yeah. And I think that was the right call. Like Ryan mentioned, we did end up swapping factories. The supplier that we were working with previously was just having trouble nailing it. And, deceptively, we thought it was a very simple item. And it turned out to not quite be that simple, I guess, for this particular overseas partner. So the decision was made, let's jump it to this other person. And they ended up doing a much better job. I think we made the right call, especially with, as many of you know, the Blade Runner auction, the 2049 auction that's been happening with Prop Store. A lot of attention has been put on the Blade Runner 2049 props. So I think we absolutely made the right call in getting that in a more capable overseas supplier with the attention that everything's been getting, and it'll be a cool piece when it comes out.
Yeah, well said. Yeah, and that's just how it is, right? That's how the luck goes. You're working on a project like this, almost zero reference. Now, we were fortunate with Blade Runner 2049 because we had the relationship with the studio to get the house pulls and the files, the original files and everything. But in lieu of that, isn't that always the case? You work on engineering something for months, and then boom, miraculously the piece shows up at auction, and we're like, aha, of course. Yeah, and then the auction photos demystify all the things where there otherwise would have been these question marks. But now we were already dialed in on those pieces. But like Jared said, since there's going to be a lot of reference out there where people could see these are really well engineered, overdone pieces. This wasn't a case of a studio. Damn, that is a huge mug, Jared. That is
I'm serious about my
that's
coffee.
like a 1920s bedside urinal. It's just huge. It's like a chamber pot. That thing really distracted me.
No, it looks so big because I think it was so close to
I was like, man, you gonna
the
wash up and shave in that thing? You know?
good little old timey.
Oh yeah. 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 Anyway, the pieces made for Blade Runner 2049 just really well done. I mean, over the top, well done, and on even the broken emanator. So although and we talked about that in another video too, while you don't see it in the film, it would be interesting, to see what extra footage. If we ever see it show up, some of those broken emanators had blood on them, or faux
Yeah,
blood.
What
it
looked
makes
like
me
blood
wonder.
to us for sure.
Yeah, and it makes me wonder if in that scene there was an extra a couple of shots where Ryan Gosling's character uses it as a weapon and stabs somebody because
Yeah.
it looks like it could be used as a weapon.
Yeah, it most definitely has fake blood on
Yeah.
it. Some of them did. But yeah, they're super clean. Very iPhone techy. What things might look like in 25 years or so, and uh, just some of the pulls we were getting back on our protos, they were just a little rough. It just again wasn't indicative of what we do. A lot of you guys, when you see us do shows and that sort of thing, and maybe you haven't got to handle or see a lot of our stuff up close. The idea is when we hand one of those pieces over for you to handle and check out, we don't want to wince when we do it. We want to proudly hand it over and know you're going to be able to, wow, really check it out and admire it and take pictures of it under gazillion megapixel cameras, and everything looks just perfect. So again, faced with the decision of putting out a B minus, we never want to be A plus operatives who put out B minus product. It's always the best way to put it. So it was worth the wait, I think, to get that nailed right. And such is the case with a couple other things that are just taking their own sweet ass time to get done. The Dune knife, my God, it's just taking forever. We should have just chromed it and been done with it. The areas that have the silver on it, but again, those pieces will be metal. A lot of you saw the final counter samples in Orlando, and everybody was really happy with those. And then, of course, Mr. DNA is on his way as well. So that was just good. We held Mr. DNA up over a box. We just had to make sure his box was dialed in, so we get a little fussy, a little obsessive, but it's, we collect too, and we kind of try to treat this stuff like, we know you guys want, how you want it. So that's all I got there. You guys, anything?
Super Stand also coming out. That's being picked up, I think, in a couple days, and then it'll be on its way here. And probably mid-April, we're probably going to be announcing that's in stock and ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good.
We'll be opening that for at least reserve in at least a few weeks, or we may just go straight to on sale when they get here. So
Okay.
keep an eye out, guys. We'll send you out a newsletter and some social media posts to let you know what's going on there.
Yeah, and a couple other things that are getting ready to be along the 20,000 Leagues newspaper. That will be coming very soon. We're just wrapping up some packaging on that. The papers are done, just getting a couple things cleaned up there, and you'll see those available very soon. I guess we could probably show them off here because those images are approved, right, Jared?
Oh yeah, yeah. And it's on our website live right
now.
now.
Yeah, that's right. We can show those off. So we'll stick those up. But yeah, we're excited about the paper. That was a good time bringing that together. We'll get a little more in depth on that. We'll get Michael Corey on here, and from Earl Hayes. You guys have seen him whenever you see Adam Savage and Tested over at the Earl Hayes Press. That's Michael that Adam's usually with and going through everything. He's their archivist over there. So he was instrumental in helping us with this. And them actually printing the product for us. So great to have them on board, considering they printed the original one for the film. So that's nice. I was trying to think of anything else. That is, that's about it. I mean, that's all I've got as far as updates go.
If you guys have been looking for ruby slippers, we have activated all of the people on our wait list for those.
Oh,
So
yeah.
those will be going live again on our page shortly. We're just trying to make sure that we give some attention to everybody who joined the wait list to let us know they were interested. So keep your eyes out for that one as well.
Okay. I was trying to think of anything else. I mean, we talked about it a couple videos back. We talked briefly about the Godzilla tree toppers that'll have the atomic breath and all those good things.
Nothing really to update, share on those yet. That is awesome. I mean, we have some awesome stuff, but it's rough behind the scenes stuff with our overseas supplier, and we'd rather present it in a more complete look, as much as possible anyway. But yeah, I'd keep an eye out for that in the next few months.
Yeah, I was just trying to decide if we wanted to talk about any other. We hadn't really talked about the not the ornaments, but the other two things. I was just I guess we'll wait. We'll wait on that.
I think it'd be cool to kind of unveil or show those in a functioning way. If there's a way we could do that.
Yeah, like right now, if we could pop a video as right? Everybody's like, what the hell are these guys talking about? Like right now, if you just showed it. Like that's probably good. We've got some cool Godzilla stuff coming. So I mean, we've talked about some of the fun things like the ornaments, and of course the tree toppers that will work as far as atomic breath goes, that kind of thing. We'll have Godzilla, we'll have Mecha Godzilla, and then of course we've got the higher end prop replicas. Everything from the I mean, you're going to see the oxygen destroyer. But we love Jet Jaguar, so we've got good Jet Jaguar stuff planned. More on that soon. Yeah, you're right. We should wait. We'll wait on that to where you can just show it off in all of its glory. But it's very soon.
Yeah.
So, and then that's probably it for immediate updates right now. Of course, the Hunter Seekers have landed and they are shipping, and they are awesome. And that's a good example of an item. I'm glad we waited on that and found the right factory. Really happy with how those turned out. So those are a lot of fun, and that's all I got. That's it. Which is weird because we're only 23 minutes in, and I feel like exhausted material today.
We covered a lot in 23 minutes, I guess.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I'm going to make you guys talk for the next 10 minutes, so go.
Why?
All right, tune in next time. See you later.
I'm thinking of a number 1 to 10. No, that's pretty much it. Unless you guys have anything, let's cut it short. We've got some specials coming up. Amy will send out in our weekly memo, our flyer, and that is it for me, gang. We do want to try and have people on these. We've been talking about that over the last couple of weeks. I tried to get up with our guy Dan earlier and just see if I could get him on here real quick on a moment's notice, and I couldn't. But if you guys watch these things and you want to be on here, just hit Amy up and tell her, sure, we want to be on one of these things. A lot more fun when we have you guys on here, and you can just hit us with a bunch of questions. All right.
Awesome.
That's it. All right, cool. All right, I'm out. We'll see you guys. Have a good weekend.